Hi, we're the brothers Merrill. I'm Adam.
And I'm Sean.
And today we are going to do a review of the movie Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Yeah, we're a little late, but, you know. We're going to run through 6 different categories, starting with characters, story, then dialogue, entertainment, climax, and heart. Characters, I gave it a 3. What about you?
I also gave it a 3.
Okay, why was that?
There weren't a lot of, I don't feel like there were a lot of new characters, and the new characters that were there I didn't like very much, like Rose.
I think a lot of people had problems with her.
Yeah, she just, I don't know, she felt a little weird to me. There just wasn't a whole lot of character development with the characters that already did exist. So it just kind of felt meh, like as far as characters went.
Makes sense. I felt like the characters that were current, there were a few that I liked what happened, like Rey and Kylo Ren I thought were pretty interesting.
Oh, that's true.
I felt like I liked where they were going with those two characters, but the rest of them, I felt like the good characters in those two were a little bit offset by the weirdness and the awkwardness of some of the other characters. So that's why I put 3.
Yeah. Story, I put a 3, just because there were cool parts. There were cool things that I thought worked in the Star Wars universe and kind of explained things. But it wasn't a story that I was just like, whoa, that was unbelievable. Like, you know, it was kind of a forgettable story. In fact, if you asked me like what the plot was, I think I'd struggle and I'd be like, there was the ship was being chased.
Yeah.
Rey was with Luke and learning a little about the Force.
Yeah. Yeah, and I actually put I scored that category a 2 because, and let me explain that a little. I felt like they were doing it intentionally. They were kind of trolling us as their audience with the story. We kind of thought things would be going in a certain direction, and then they would be like, no, actually something different, and they continued to do that throughout the movie. Every time you thought it was going one way, it was like they intentionally did something just to troll you. So I think it was good, but I think that story-wise it was kind of a shoddy storyline because of that.
Dialogue,
what did you put?
I put a 4.
I did as well. 4. Why is that?
I liked the conversations. I think that the characters, the things that they said were true to their character. Like they made sense what the characters were saying. Lots of the conversations between like Kylo and Rey.
Oh yeah.
They were very intriguing conversations. I'd be like sitting on the edge of my seat, like especially when they'd have their like conversations across the galaxy. Like I was just like
very well shot.
That was so cool. I enjoyed that.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly. I thought that some of the conversations were just really good. Also, a character which I had mixed feelings about, but the code breaker guy, thought he had an interesting monologue or two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then Yoda, I thought had a really stirring conversation with Luke that it's worth seeing almost just for some of those.
Yeah, that was a great... Yeah, the conversation between Yoda and Luke was very... Oh, and the conversation between Luke and Rey about the Force.
Yeah.
And how...
That was excellent.
It's arrogance that the Jedi think the Force belongs to them. That was a great conversation. So I thought the dialogue was good.
Yeah, probably not a 5 just because of some... Probably Rose's conversation was a little weird, explaining the oppression of the rebels, so, you know, just kind of,
Poor Rose.
Yeah, poor Rose, you know, did her best.
Yeah.
Entertainment value, what'd you put?
I put a 4.
Okay, yeah, me too. Blowing stuff up, space battles, yeah.
It's just entertaining to watch stuff, and, I mean... Oh gosh, yeah, there were things that were just so cool. Like my favorite scene as far as entertainment goes that I just thought was so cool. Okay, the courtroom fight was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
When they light speed through a Star Destroyer.
Oh, that was stunning.
That was.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite part of the movie, there.
I still remember watching that, and in the theater, it was just dead silent. There's no sound from anybody. Everyone's holding their breath, just like.
Well, because it registered. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I see. Well, because they say the ship is preparing to jump into light speed, and you're like, okay, but then it like keeps turning, and you're like,
yeah.
Oh! I know what she's gonna do. No way! And then she does it.
Yeah, and I felt like it also was a symbolically hefty scene because it was a scene of division, like of light kind of dividing darkness and light, because you'd kind of been walked through some gray areas and then it just boom, like back to good and evil. So yeah.
I like that.
Climax goes kind of into that. What would you call the climax? There were 3 or 4 in some ways. But
the climax. Okay, definitely Luke appearing on the battlefield.
I think so too.
Was I think the biggest climax, but I felt a little disappointed. I mean, it was cool, so I gave it a 3.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I personally was kind of disappointed he wasn't actually there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, you mean that's not him? It was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a cool, like the other Star Wars have like cool space fights, you know?
Yeah.
In a lot of their climaxes. That this one was like on the ground, but there wasn't a lot of like shooting back and forth and blowing stuff up. It was just kind of like they were going towards each other. But, you know, there wasn't really a battle.
Yeah.
You know, there weren't people going in with their guns. And anyway, that's how I felt about it. That's why it was a 3, because it was a climax. It was cool, and it was a twist that Luke wasn't really there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool, but anyway.
Yeah, no, I put slightly higher, a 4, and I'm gonna say that the one reason why 4 instead of like 3 is the screen cap of Luke standing in front of like the hosts of the First Order all by himself, and like that was just so stunning. I agree with you with what you said though about it would have been cool if he was there, and I'm waiting for the next movie for there to be like the most incredible lightsaber fight we've ever seen, because we're still waiting on that.
Yeah. 6th category is heart.
Yeah, and to explain that, just kind of, did it give you the feels when you remember it? Did it make you feel warmth, glow a little? Like, whoa, that was stunning.
Just make you feel something.
Yeah, because not all movies are so happy in a way. But I put a 3. Pretty. There were moments where it was really awesome, but then there were moments where like I felt like I should have been feeling a little more, and I didn't. So, you know, there were give and take there. That's why I'd give it a neutral 3.
I also put a 3 for just about the same reason.
Cool.
So.
Our average scores, mine is a 3.3.
Mine is also a 3.3.
So there you go, 3.3 out of 5.
Not a lot of disagreement on that one.
Go or no?
I would say go.
Me too. Go. See it. It's Star Wars. You gotta. Okay. And it was pretty good.
Thanks for watching. We're the Brothers Merrill. I'm Adam.
And I'm Sean.